Here we go. Here we go. I hope the mic is working. What's going on? Crypto fam, info junkies, conspiracy theorists, and alike. Today I want to talk about XRP. I want to talk about the financial situation going on in the world, specifically around the U.S. dollar, and how XRP might be positioned to really play a major role in the future of finance on the global scale. So, yeah, there's so many ties. I don't know if any of you are following XRP, but they have a very strong community. They've been around as long as Bitcoin's been around. They got the same developer team. It was designed to fix all the bugs that Bitcoin had. And according to Brad Garlinghouse, he's stated in the past that they have a massive marketing campaign to make XRP basically shoot to the top of the leaderboard. XRP is a different beast when it comes to how they operate and to how they market. Their business model is different than most of these other companies. Most of these other companies, they set out to make a lot of money and to build that community as fast as they can with as many products as possible. Some of them did it in nefarious ways, and I'm not going to say any names, but yeah, they had a lot of help and kind of cheated their way up there. XRP, Ripple, XRP is the native coin to Ripple network, the ledger, and they took a different route. They have been building out the infrastructure for a global network to basically hold all the value on the planet. Everything is going to run. They are like the fiber optic cable of the internet. So Web3 is going to run on XRP on the ledger. As fiber optics or cables is what the satellites beam the connection, the internet, down to servers on the ground, which then distribute the internet to all the providers and all the users. That is what basically Ripple is building and has been building since day one. And they are getting everything they need in line to be the ultimate transmitter of money, using all the transmitter licenses they've recently acquired through different acquisitions and different situations where they have acquired all these licenses, especially for the U.S. payments, because there's 50 states, right? In the U.S., each state requires a different license, and they're up to 30 licenses, I think, right now. Possibly more. So they almost got the U.S. covered, and once the U.S. is covered, the rest of the world's a little easier because their regulations and the separation between the states and the governments are a little easier to get through. And they've definitely been working with blockchain and crypto, blockchain technology company providers a lot. I don't know about a lot longer, but just making it a lot smoother for people to interact with it and to adopt it. So once the U.S. adopts it, the rest of the world is an easy thing. And U.S. is, it used to be the biggest market, the biggest economy. We still have a massive portion of finances, but either way. So that being said, this is the connections here. This is the financial side of it, right? There's so much more to all this, but This is money networks, okay? Look at this. These are central banks, all right? These are the big money, the Swifties, right? We'll call them Swifties for lack of a better term. The Swift network users, basically, they're just dominating this space. And then you have all of the providers. This is all the guys that are going to be providing the need that they're in line with here. We've already been integrated in most of these companies on the back end quietly. Ripple has been tapping into all of these bad boys as well. So this is just giving Ripple everything they need to just service the entire planet. Once they have everything in line and in the works, basically they got the groundwork is done. Then it's going to become the flip of the switch. Now, what's going to be the flip of the switch? We're not sure, but just imagine. Uh, don't hate me. I'm just the messenger. But just you got to keep an open mind with this stuff. Bitcoin, there's a lot of maxis that are just in love with Bitcoin. And, Bitcoin doesn't have any use case. There's no real value in Bitcoin except for the people that you know that are holding it and that believe in the value of Bitcoin, and the world right now is believing that as well. But at some point, imagine if the whole world decides, okay, Bitcoin really isn't worth it, and XRP seems to be the real value token of the planet. And then all that money starts to flow out of Bitcoin and look to the next best thing. Ether is there too. I'm not going to take away from them. They've built, everything they've built, but XRP is going to be rock solid. I mean, you're talking about a good investment. You're talking massive investors who have a lot of knowledge and experience investing. XRP is going to be the better out of all of them. Why has XRP been attacked over the last couple of years? Well, who knows? There's a lot of conspiracy theories behind all of that. But, imagine a world where all these people are actually working together to create that marketing um, system that they talked about, where they have to get that regulatory clarity. So they call up the regulators and say, hey, we need you to put us through the ringer so that the world trusts this technology and this company to do what we are setting out to do. And we want to be the only ones that actually have that, because maybe nobody else actually gets it. Um, who knows? But just imagine a world where that clarity is given and Bitcoin starts to get questioned and starts to shake from the foundation a little bit and it flips. Who knows? But I'm telling you this, on a realistic standpoint, this XRP is set up in a way like no other company. And it's been through a lot, and the community is super strong. They're not maximalists. They are free thinking, um, I don't want to say conservative, but I'll say contrarian. Okay, so they're not looking and thinking about this like anybody else. They're thinking clear-headed, and they're thinking outside of the box, and they're really trying to put things together. And they've done a great job. That community is really strong and really smart, and they have a lot of smart people. That got a lot of lawyers, got an awesome legal team behind the Ripple partners. Yeah, man, I don't know, but it's crazy. Now let's talk about why they're going to be needed and what's going on here, because You look at the global outcome, right? Now, they say the International Monetary Fund forecasts a slight decline in global growth to 2.9% in 2024 from 3% in 2023. However, much growth is made up of emerging markets activity, while growth in advanced economies remains tepid. This said, inflation expectations have been pared back from their high levels across all regions. You got to be very careful on where you get your info. See, now I just looked this up on Bing, basically. Okay, it's not giving you a very detailed. It's not giving you very much detail. It's not giving you anything. No, you got no information really coming off of this. Now, you wanna see the real situation. You start digging down, and global markets weekly U.S. index breaches 5,000 first time. See this? This is talking about what happened in the market last week. The market had no business doing this. I'm just telling you straight up. The market had no freaking business breaking up to new highs, okay, last week. There was no reason. There's certain things that are being ignored, and there's certain things that are being overhyped. And investors, they are jumping in on this. And man, I'm telling you, it's not good. It's not looking good. Let's talk about the Federal Reserve here. Okay, now the Federal Reserve's inflation, right? They're saying it's nearly back to 2%. So why isn't the Federal Reserve ready to cut rates? That's a good golly gee gosh darn question. Okay. Um, because possibly, maybe, inflation's not really at 2%. I don't know where they're getting this 2% from, but I'll tell you this. Watch this, y'all. Okay. 2% federal mandate, right? Okay. There's a few things we need to understand about this 2% mandate. First of all, okay, this started back in 1977, okay, after we were taking off the gold standard. Then these guys come in, right here, 1977, Congress amended the Federal Reserve Act, directing the Board of Governors of the Federal Reserve System, the Federal Open Market Committee, to maintain a long-run growth of monetary and credit aggregates commensurate with the economy's long-run potential to increase production, so as to promote effectively the goals of maximum employment, stable prices, and moderate long-term interest rates. Check this out. The members of the FOMC who vote on monetary policy actions are the 7 members of the Board of Governors, the President of the Federal Reserve Bank of New York, the Presidents of 4 other regional Federal Reserve Banks. The Presidents of the 8 regional Federal Reserve Banks participate fully in discussions at each meeting and rotate into voting positions on a set schedule, okay? The FOMC's long-run goals were first articulated in January 25th, 2012. Press release and have been affirmed annually. Therefore, most recent statement was amended. Check this out. January 29, 2019, where, look at this, core inflation strips out the volatile food and energy price components, and as it is a better indicator of underlying inflation trends. Now, it is for them, for their numbers, but for the actual inflation, those are the most critical things that we need to determine the true inflation rate, because they're the most critical for human survival. We need food and we need energy. Those are the highest costs in our lives, and they took them out in 2019. What else happened in 2019? I'm not going to say, but something else took place that affected the world. It's kind of interesting that they did this. And who was president, by the way? Wasn't the guy that's there now. A lot of people have some very, positive opinions about that president. But here's the thing. He allowed this to happen. He did call them out and say that they were trying to crash the market, which made them pull back. But this took place. There's a lot of very small things that were passed on the back end that we never heard about that he passed that are going to be key for this global future we're moving into. So I'm not going to get into that today, but anyways, food and price, food and energy, taken out. So now they're using fake numbers because what are they using? They're taking the least critical elements of our lives and they're using those things that nobody barely ever buys, and they're using that because those numbers don't really change. So it's just a big show. It's all a lie for us. It's just insane, this reality that we're living in. But I want to go back to this 2%, because if you look at this, so in 1972, we were taken off the gold standard. Okay, so that now created our new debt-based system. That system was only designed to last 50 years. You know why that is? Well, their mandate of 2% inflation yearly, annual 2% inflation rate. If you multiply that by 50, what are you at? 100%, which means our dollar is now worthless. That is why it was only designed to last 50 years. That's all it could last. And now look at what we're running into. The destruction of the monetary system. It's just crazy, but that's where you start to see where this digital economy, this digital system that's been being built on the back end that we haven't been able to see unless you really put these things together. And if you follow the news headlines, it seems like, governments are against it, but really it's a show. It's all a big show. You've got to actually look at the data, follow the breadcrumbs, and determine your own outcome. And invest accordingly, but this is not financial advice. Please. This is for educational purposes only. Okay, now let's continue with the Federal Reserve. What else are they doing here? What is going on here? So, central banks are buying up gold. Central banks buying spree. Watch this. So we're going to go to the all. So you see what pops up here. Central banks gold buying spree. Implications, right? What's driving central banks to record gold purchases? To record gold purchases. Central banks bought the most gold on record last year. That was a month ago. Right? This year, they're going to set another record. Watch. Central banks are buying up gold. But not just central banks. Governments are as well. Except for ours. Now, according to the information that's out there, they'll tell you that the U.S. holds more gold than anybody else. But when's the last time we were audited? Anytime anybody's attempted to go in there, they're denied access. Recently, there was a story released about our silver mint was raided by the military because, we need so much silver on hand to produce weapons and missiles and rockets. And I'm sorry to tell you, but we're in a deficit when it comes to metals being mined and metals being used. So why hasn't the prices of metals been going up? Well, the price of gold has been actually staying pretty dang stable with all the uncertainty of the world. Normally, the prices would have crashed already, but they're holding up near their highs, and they ain't moving. Last time that happened was 2008, before the crash. Did the same thing, and then what happened? It shot up. So another thing is, right now, silver is about 85% of gold, or 85. Uh, yeah, 85 to 1, basically. 85, you get 85 silver ounces to 1 gold. Normally, it's about 16, 17 ounces to 1. Historically, I would say, I'm sorry, we are way off. And what's been happening? So the big investors are suppressing it, using the paper market to suppress the price. But what happens when this goes? Silver is going to break some records. Like, I think it's going to go insanely high, as well as these cryptocurrencies. It's going to be a whole different ballgame, and it's going to make a whole new 1%. You definitely want to be in there. Okay, so do some research, understand the digital market and cryptocurrencies and blockchain technology, and try to be on the right side of history, man, because this is going to be biblical. It's going to be biblical. And, yeah. So, let's go back to Ripple. So, Ripple joins ISDA, enters a 1.2 quadrillion derivatives market. Now, this is just saying that they joined the board of ISDA. That's a big deal, though. I believe Ripple. You look at all these members. Okay, what does Ripple have that they don't? XRP. Okay, XRP is designed to get a high price, and it's designed to handle all the money. Just imagine if the derivatives, the value of the derivatives put on XRP divided by 100 billion. Just saying. Um, that's just the moves that this company's been making. It's been insane. Next, carbon emissions, right? They have been um, investing in the carbon market because they know carbon market is going to grow pretty big too. They invested 100 million. It's expected to hit, I think, 4 trillion by 2032. This is another market that is going to increase greatly in the next decade. 100 million scale strength global carbon markets addresses quality and transparency using blockchain and crypto. Yeah, I'm telling you guys, this company is the company you want to be invested in. If you can invest in private equity, that's another way. Invest in Ripple as well, because they're going to IPO at some point. And when they do, the valuation is going to go crazy. Yeah, here it is. Look, 4 trillion to 20.24 billion by 2032. There it is. Okay, let's see here. Now, let's talk about the BRICS nations. What are the BRICS nations, and why do they matter? Well, the BRICS nations are challenging the U.S. dollar as the world reserve currency and creating a new system that's going to be backed by gold and commodities, and that is going to be I believe permissionless because they've seen when the dollar lost its credibility when they attacked Russia, and they attacked them financially by not allowing them to do business in the banking system. And I believe they're going to use a blockchain technology, a cryptocurrency that is going to be permissionless, borderless, and transmit freely and settle within seconds, which XRP fits the bill. Now, this is an interesting twist to the situation because a cryptocurrency would fit in here perfectly, but is there going to be more than one? I think XRP is going to be the biggest, but there's going to be room for other blockchains to do well also. So it's going to be interesting to see how this unfolds. But they're talking about releasing a gold-backed cryptocurrency. That's another interesting thing. Why gold-backed? Because they're all buying gold, and they know that gold is the future. The price of gold is going to go way higher than it is now. And those who have the gold have the power. So, definitely going to be interesting to watch how this unfolds. Now, let's look at something here. This is interesting here, okay? Revelations 18. All right, this is 17. 17, 18. Revelations 18 is a very interesting chapter. And, who are they talking about? Mystery Babylon is an interesting, I believe it could possibly be the United States. It does speak about it as a city, but there's a lot of similarities to the U.S. But it says here that they will be brought down in 1 hour. Now, there's another, let's see, where is it? Oh, I lost it. Operation Sandman. Here it is. Operation Sandman is a conspiracy theory, right? That all the Eastern nations, 100 of the Eastern nations, are going to drop the dollar and the treasuries all at one time. If that happens, it would bring about destruction very quickly. Is that what's going to happen? I don't know. I just like to bring these ideas up for people to kind of consider. If you've seen that movie, Leave the World Behind, on Netflix, that's another way that makes sense too. And that's a lot simpler. A lot easier, and not as hard as you think to accomplish. So, is this talking about the U.S.? Not quite sure. Could be talking about maybe Davos? Interesting. Maybe the Vatican City. Could be London. All those are cities that hold a lot of power and influence around the world and really control a lot of the world behind the scenes. So it's really interesting. Are they talking about the actual Babylon? Do they rebuild it? I don't know. This happens in chapter 18, which is on the latter side of Revelation. This is after a lot of judgment takes place on the planet. So it's interesting. It's interesting. I like to keep these things in mind. I always pay attention to certain things. They just stand out, and I just like to share them. Keep it in the back of your mind. Keep that in the old tool belt. Keep your mind open. Always keep your mind open to these things. But yeah, I just wanted to talk about XRP and just kind of see what your thoughts are. What do you guys think? Do you think XRP is going to be massive? Do you think it's going to fall away? I think it's been around ever since. It's been in the top 10 basically forever. So there's a reason for that, why the market cap has been in the top 10. So just keep your minds open. Don't miss out on history in the making. Do some research. Understand what's going on in the world. Pay attention. And we will catch you in the next one. Thanks for being here.